what's happening, guys? Welcome to another fan-based topic discussion. Today's topic was suggested by username Splicey Dice. So a thumbs up to Splicey Dice who suggested this topic. You can suggest your video topics by going to my website forums and then suggest your ideas for future 7webheads videos and post your idea down there. You can also mention your YouTube channel to get a shout. Now, Splicey Dice says the following thing. There is a lot of speculation recently that Peter Parker will die in the Sinister Six or the Amazing Spider-Man 3, because in the comics, Kraven shoots him and he eventually dies from the shot in Aunt May's arms after defeating the six villains. Do you think they're really going to kill him off and bring him in a new Spider-Man? Now, fantastic topic, the death of Spider-Man. I don't think it was discussed very detailed ever on my channel. I don't think I ever bring this topic. I was very skeptical about this, but today I actually get something to say. First of all, Splicey, great topic, but it wasn't Kraven who shot at Spider-Man, it was actually the Punisher, and we are talking about the death of the Ultimate Spider-Man. In the Ultimate Universe, of course, we all know a major event which happened back in 2011, just 1 year after they announced that they are actually rebooting Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man will be a new franchise. Back then it was called the Untitled Spider-Man Reboot. Now, first of all, I'm going to mention something which eventually will tie up with what I will say later on. The purpose of such story arcs, death of Spider-Man, death of Superman, and even the Amazing Spider-Man 2700, which was a major event with Doc Ock swapping minds with Spider-Man and being actually the new superior Spider-Man. The purpose of such events is, of course, the controversy. The controversy is what attracts readers. I mean, maybe you gave up on the comics, on Spider-Man comics, if you find out that they're actually killing Spider-Man and there's the whole story arc started about his death. Sure thing you're going to go back to read comics, and even if you're very interested, you're going to read all the previous issues to find out how this whole story was built up. So the controversy is what the main purpose of such story arc. Same goes for the death of Wolverine. Of course, Wolverine will be back eventually by the time of the X-Men Apocalypse. Spider-Man got back in his body, a superior Spider-Man, by the time of the Amazing Spider-Man 2. The Ultimate Spider-Man, well, at that time they announced Andrew Garfield as the new Spider-Man, so technically you could say that it was a controversy to attract readers, to attract more readers to the Spider-Man comics, because there's a new Spider-Man coming out and it will actually be based sort of like on the Ultimate Universe. Now, this is the controversy topic, and the death of Spider-Man, the Ultimate Death of Spider-Man, is probably one of my favorite Ultimate Spider-Man story arcs, along with the Clone Saga, which was really great. Getting back to what I said previously, mentioning how it will tie up with what's going on currently in the whole Spider-Man franchise business. As we know, there are rumors floating around about Sony giving up on Spider-Man, maybe making some sort of a deal with Marvel. And previously, of course, in our previous podcast, we discussed how Sony maybe should make a deal for Spider-Man to make his guest appearances everywhere, to make some profit from the merchandise if they will make a deal with Marvel. Not necessarily only about Spider-Man appearing in the Avengers, and that's it. You know, if you're going to invest your money, you better invest in a deal which will bring you small amount of money, but from many places, instead of getting your million and going back home. So logically, you should invest money into something which will be consistent in terms of bringing money. So if they will make a deal, yes, Spider-Man appears in the Avengers 3, and then all the following Marvel films, Spider-Man will be a special guest there, and some merchandise, and they will get money from here, from there, and it will be a lot better than just making one sort of a deal, appear in the Avengers and going back home. So all these crazy rumors, are floating around, and Sony really needs to do something groundbreaking, something which hasn't been done before with the Sinister Six. Something, it shouldn't be just a random villain movie. It should be something really great in order to attract the viewers, in order to attract the audience. And Sinister Six isn't very that popular among the general audience, let's be honest here. Yeah, people know Doc Ock, people know Green Goblin, but people don't really know that they teamed up many times and they're actually a team fighting Spider-Man. But it's not very tough to explain that in the synopsis, regardless. So Sinister Six, Drew Goddard's next film, it's either a win or a lose. That's it. The Sinister Six will decide the fate of the Sony Spider-Man franchise. It should be pretty clear right now. If it will be a flop, that's it. If not, if it will be a success, even people who said the Amazing Spider-Man 2 was bad and was the worst Spider-Man film, will enjoy the Sinister Six, they will say, and they will think that the franchise still has a chance to actually be good. Now, the controversy, the death of Spider-Man. Even though I was very skeptical about it for many years, seeing death of Spider-Man on the big screen, I honestly think that at this point, Sony might actually throw something like that just for the sake of controversy. I mean, think about it. Superheroes teaming up is been done before in the Avengers, one of the sort of like second main characters dying, and then he turned out, of course, to be alive, but still he sort of died, it was said that one of the characters will die. It was Coulson in the Avengers. They said that one of the characters will die months before the film, and of course it was Coulson. Now there are rumors about one of the Avengers, I believe, or some other character, important character, dying in the Avengers Age of Ultron. So this is what brings the attention of, the attention of the audience as well. Pretty much everything has been done before, really. Everything has been done before. Bad guys teaming up, even that has been done before. There are films about bad guys teaming up for one purpose, What Sony need to do right now is to do something which hasn't been done before. And something which eventually might kinda maybe open a door for another potential character replacements for Spider-Man. Yeah, Avi Arad said that Peter Parker will always be the main character in Sony's Spider-Man franchise. Avi Arad is a human being with his own principles, his own set of rules, but thing is, very often life makes us do things which we didn't intend to do, Life changes us, life breaks our rules, life breaks our principles. We want to be that personality, we want to look like that, we want to behave like that, but life forces us to behave differently. And with Avi Arad, who said that Spider-Man will be just Peter Parker, well, perhaps the not so great critical acclaim of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 will change his mind and will force him to actually contact Marvel and will force him to think about a possibility of another Spider-Man besides Peter Parker. And I think even Avi Arad might eventually change his mind, might eventually do something which he thought he wouldn't ever do if the company will be in trouble. And the company is in trouble right now, in some serious trouble. So, the death of Spider-Man. Now, the ultimate death of Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure most of you guys know how it all turned out. It was Spider-Man facing a bunch of villains. Actually, Green Goblin, among with other villains, escaped the Triskelion prison. Doc Ock helped him to escape. Norman Osborn and Green Goblin and a bunch of other bad guys. Later on, of course, Norman suggests to take a revenge on Spider-Man. Doc Ock tells him that, maybe we shouldn't really kill Spider-Man, defeat Spider-Man. After all, he's our greatest creation. Norman disagrees. He kills Ultimate Doc Ock and he goes to Peter's house to find him, to destroy him and his family. Peter finds out about it, and on his way to his house, on his way to a house which is getting ambushed by Green Goblin and his bunch of villains, he actually sees a Punisher pointing a gun at the Captain America, shoots Captain America, and Spider-Man jumps to Captain and he covers him and he gets a bullet. He gets badly wounded. Still, even though he just got shot, he still continues his way to his house. He comes to his house, he fights the villains. He's in a very bad condition. Of course, Johnny Storm helps him. I think Bobby Drake helped him as well. On YouTube, there's this whole Ultimate Spider-Man, Death of Ultimate Spider-Man story arc done with the animation. Basically, comic book pages done with animation, some fantastic audio. I'm pretty sure you guys seen it. It's just over YouTube. If not, you can check out the description box just to see how it's done and just to imagine that in the film it could have been even better. So yes, I can see the death of Spider-Man. At this point, I can see anything. As I said, company is in trouble. So controversy, they are killing Spider-Man. Really? There are rumors about killing Spider-Man. Everybody is speculating that Peter Parker might die. Well, let's go see this film. Well, let's go. It can work. Some people will still want to go see it. They will just find out about whether Spider-Man was killed or not from their friends. But the majority of the fans will go to see such a major event. I mean, who will miss the death of Spider-Man, especially that it is rumored? The death of Spider-Man, here's the thing, the Sinister Six, which will be released on November 11, 2016, that's not about killing Spider-Man, of course, it's about villains teaming up. Spider-Man will make a cameo, their appearance, some sort of a... The Amazing Spider-Man 3, as I said many times, probably the symbiote, Mary Jane, story arc and everything, and there will be a bunch of spin-offs, and then the Amazing Spider-Man 4, which technically I can see as a chance to, if you ever want to adapt this story, bring this story, Death of Spider-Man, a chance to actually kill Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield. The Sinister Six getting back together. Some members got replaced, but now it's Norman Osborn who is actually the leader of the Sinister Six. Let's say in the Sinister Six spin-off film, Peter will be responsible for the death of Harry, maybe. And yeah, there's Norman Osborn's head in the container. I mean, how is he going to turn out to be Green Goblin? Well, there's the head, which opens another possibility for the ultimate version of the Green Goblin. It's just a head. Maybe somebody will inject this serum, the finished Goblin serum, Spider Venom, whatever, and he'll regrow his body into this monstrous green creature. So he will regrow his body from just a head, and he will be a ultimate Green Goblin. In order to kill Spider-Man, Norman needs a serious reason. It's not about not giving his blood to Norman just like he did with Harry. You didn't give me your blood, well, you're my enemy now. Death of Spider-Man, Norman needs... The reason I keep saying Norman, because I can only see Norman killing Spider-Man. For me, it's like Gwen Stacy dying. It should be Norman if we were talking about the ultimate death of Spider-Man, of course, because that's what it will probably be based on. It should be Norman Osborn. So I can see the same concept, them escaping the prison, with the help of other villains. Norman escapes the prison. At that time, Peter Parker will be with Mary Jane, by the way, already, which will be introduced in The Amazing Spider-Man 3. So yes, I can see it. I can't tell you how the events will go, obviously. There are many possibilities. I can write my own screenplay, for God's sake, but some details will be the same, like they're escaping the prison, killing Spider-Man, going to Peter's house, actually, and trying to kill him, and eventually it will be Peter versus Norman Osborn. Both of them will be wounded, both of them will be beaten up, and they will fight, and both of them will die, with Norman Osborn looking at the dead Peter's body with a smile before dying, just like it was in the Ultimate. So yes, I can see it. For the sake of controversy, I can see it, and for the sake of introduce somebody other Spider-Man than Peter Parker, like, let's say, Miles Morales. After The Amazing Spider-Man 4, maybe they would like to replace Spider-Man. Maybe at that time Spider-Man will be already a part of the Avengers of the Marvel MCU, who knows. So introducing Miles Morales, just interesting. It's something really fresh. Let's just think how old Andrew will be at the time of The Amazing Spider-Man 4. He will be probably, if he is now 30 or what, 31, 30, The Amazing Spider-Man 4 is released in 2018. No, it's actually 2018, The Amazing Spider-Man 3. So The Amazing Spider-Man 4 is like 2020. It's like 6 years from now, right? 5 years. It's almost 2015. So in 5 years, Andrew will be 35, 36. You know what? He will, at some point, he will say no. That's too much. So bringing Miles Morales after the death of Spider-Man is just great. I can see it for the sake of controversy. I can see it happening. I can see that Sony might actually throw something like that. That being said, maybe at the time of The Amazing Spider-Man 4, things will be good for Sony. Maybe the Sinister Six will be a success. Maybe The Amazing Spider-Man 3 will be a success. Maybe they wouldn't need to do something like that. Still they could, and it's interesting. At least it hasn't been done before, Let me know what you guys think. Do you believe that Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker will eventually die, be killed by Norman Osborn, and it will open a gate for the Miles Morales in the upcoming spin-off film? Or upcoming reboot. It won't be about the origin story, of course, all over again. Maybe he will be straight Spider-Man. And do you actually believe that it might happen? Thanks for watching, and I'm out for now.